What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
Good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody out there. Thank you for tuning into the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. Perry White will join us in just a few minutes on this very, very beautiful Saturday morning. I am feeling very, very sluggish today. Just one of those days. Can't win them all, right? And there's been a lot going on. I know the Swingman Classic has been happening with MLB All-Star Week. With MLB All-Star Week, we'll have the Swingman Classic, and there's a lot of HBCU students that have been invited to that, so that's going to be their all-star opportunity. Super excited to start talking about that. Perry is not in the studio today, but we'll have him on the phone in just a bit. Mike, you did the air horn? Oh, you did the air horn. See, I'm so slugged. I got to finish my caffeine this morning here because I missed the air horns. Thank you for that, though, Mike. So we'll check in with Perry in just a bit. A lot going on here locally. It's still one of those hot weekends. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're taking breaks, staying out of the sun. I know that there's a lot going on this weekend here in Baton Rouge. A lot of alumni weekends. I know McKinley High is having their 10th annual alumni weekend, and the Northeast High Vikings up in Cheneyville, they're having their first ever, their inaugural alumni weekend. Started with a basketball tournament last night and a whole bunch of fun stuff going on. Other than that, I think the rest of us may be trying to stay inside, find somewhere cool, hit a pool or something like that, because it is going to be a long, hot, heat advisory-filled weekend. Let's see. What else? Are we live on? I think we are live on YouTube because I got the notification for it. So if you are on YouTube, make sure you are subscribing, liking, sharing it so that others can also share with you in our Jaguar love today. So, of course, we're counting down to football season. Where is Perry? Who knows? Traveling the globe. We'll check in with Perry in a bit and we'll find out from him. But as we are starting this early morning, I know we're just a few minutes over the time there, but that's fantastic. So starting on this Saturday morning, why you got Perry's picture on the screen? Perry not here. We can take Perry down till he come in. 'Cause that's just a joke there. Like I said, we're going to call Perry in a bit and get him on the line and get him involved in this. I think the big talker right now, baseball, wrapping up baseball, MLB All-Star coming, and of course, after that is the Olympics. Now, I love the Olympics. It's like the greatest sports time to fill our time between now and football season, between the summer and football season. And that just makes that time go by so much faster because you have so many different sports to watch. And we've got so many great storylines coming out of the Olympics as well. So, and we've also preparing for that SU football season. Now, I know that y'all may not know, but I have a show called Love 225 where we highlight the color and culture of the greater Baton Rouge area. Art, food, musicians, so many different people that have stopped by. Some local headlines out of that. There is a Black woman named Malika Favorite. She is an artist right here in Louisiana. She's fantastic. Tiana's Great Bayou Adventure just opened as a ride at Disney World. That's Princess Tiana. You know, she's featured from here in Louisiana, right there in New Orleans. Malika designed and painted some of the artwork in this ride. So if you go through the ride, go see it. You can go to the Love 225 page and see more about that. We also featured the great man that we're going to be talking to a little bit later in the show, Coach Roger Cador. Why? Some great historical storylines coming out of the Southern University baseball program. And of course, one of them is it's never just about the history. They have more. They're continuing. That's all tied to the MLB All-Star Weekend. So we'll have him on the line to explain that later this morning. But if you don't know about Love 225, you can go find that on YouTube as well and go see some of these stories. Because again, so many great Jaguar stories coming out of that. So what else do we have going on this week? Southern University Athletic Department is hosting their second annual gala. I'm going to be emceeing that. You can also buy tickets, tables for that. I hope to see y'all. Y'all can all join me for that. That's happening on August 23rd, on Friday, August 23rd. So we are looking forward to that because we're going to be raising money for the Southern University Athletic Department. I think we've got somebody on the line now, and it is our good friend Perry. We're not playing Where's Waldo this morning. Perry's on the line. Perry, good morning.
You know, I'm just a friend of the show. Just want to call in and say I enjoy listening to this show each and every Saturday morning as I get up and drink my coffee.
Oh, fantastic. You drink coffee? I didn't know you drink coffee.
In my make-believe world of being a listener of the Jaguar Journal, I get up every Saturday morning and drink my coffee and listen to the Jaguar Journal.
Oh, that's your I pretend to do that with my other broadcasts. I totally understand. Who is my audience? What are they doing? Let me step into their shoes. How are you doing this morning, Perry?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm feeling sluggish this morning, so it's going to take me a few minutes. Yeah, I got to finish my caffeine here. Yeah, it was just one of those nights, you know. Not a hard night. I just slept too long.
Well, I understand. Plus, you up early every morning during the weekday anyway. So when you finally get that one day,
well, it's not. So what happened is the sleep pattern is a problem, right? You have to have a disciplined sleep pattern, and during the summer, the sun is out longer, so I try to stay up longer, which in turn the next day, I fall asleep and I take a nap. But because of the time I wake up in the morning, which is about 2:30 a.m., y'all, I fell asleep for too long, and I did that for like 3 days straight and yesterday. So I fell asleep telling myself I'm going to take a nap, you know, and I slept too long. So then I stayed up too late, and then I just have a sluggish morning. So I have to try to get back into my discipline pattern.
Brandy.
Yeah, I got to get back into my discipline pattern. But that's because it's summertime, and I have a 9-year-old. So we're all just, you know, there is no schedule right now. We're all just kind of off of it because we're enjoying the summertime, but that's okay.
I will fall asleep on them kids, Brandy. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, look.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. Yesterday, I fell asleep on the sofa, y'all. Mama taking a nap, you know, but it is what it is. It's the summer. You know, you got to have a good time. I enjoy the sunsets. So it's one of those things. It's all good. How are you doing this morning?
What's going on other than that? How's everything going in your world?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, other than getting too much sleep, I guess that's how you would define it. I'm good. I'm great. How about you?
Good. Everything's good. You know, I'm still out moving around, still summertime travel. So after this week, hopefully I start to slow down. But, you know, just still trying to get it in. Look, I enjoy every bit of the summer, those long days, Probably not so much of the heat and humidity, but other than that, Brandi, look, I keep it rocking and rolling. Then, football season to be here before you know it, which I'm pretty sure everybody that's listening, that's what they ready to get themselves ready. They ready to gas up the RVs, the cars, saving up now for the tailgates, everybody getting themselves prepared because August is right around the corner. Fall camp will be here before you know it. And we'll be talking about going to Lake Charles for the McNeese State game for game 1, in which I think there's going to be a big crowd of everybody around Louisiana and Texas right there next door. I'll be right there in Lake Charles getting ready to cheer on the Jaguars.
Yeah, no, we are all looking forward to it. That's what I was saying a little while ago, that at least this year we got those Summer Olympics, so you got something to keep your mind busy. Then right when that's done, football season is here, like literally the next week. So that's so much is going on with the fall right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well,
shout out to all my people out there paying attention, watching us on the YouTube this morning. My boy Kevin Walker always. Good morning to everybody watching us on our Facebook Live. Make sure y'all go follow and subscribe to the YouTube channel. A lot of people who do listen to us on the radio, if you ever want to play back and listen to it, hey, you can do that via our YouTube channel. And if a lot of people don't get a chance to wake up as early as you and I, Brandi, on a Saturday morning, so they may catch the Jaguar Journal a little late. So if you missed any part of the episode or you want to go back and listen to specific sections of the show, hey, that's the importance of reason why we have the YouTube channel. You can have that and then share it to those who may not even know about it. So help us spread the word and get us out there as we get closer towards football season, SWAC Media Day this week. So there's going to be a lot in store for you with the show as we continue to inch closer and closer towards football season. I'm sure everybody and their mama want to know what the Jags going to look like, because I constantly, Brandi, get that question all the time. So what we going to look like this year? And I'm like, I don't know. So as we continue to get closer to answering that question, that's why we want you to stay tuned to the Jaguar Journal and stay up to date with everything that we have to offer. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on our Facebook page.
That's right. Well, it is that time, Perry. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back on the other side of this break to talk more Jaguar sports. We're counting down SWAC Media Day, getting our first big preview into what's going to be happening or what we can expect this fall. This is the Jaguar Journal.
Danny Johnson, first and foremost, outstanding young man, great character, great young man. Can't say enough about him. Great father. You always see him, hanging around with his son and spending time with his son and his family. As a player, I can't say enough about him. He has all the athletic ability that you would want in a kid with playing corner, the footwork, speed, all the intangibles.
I have a good work ethic. It's been a lot of times, in the off season, I gotta just push myself to go work out. Even if nobody else was out there, just to, get an extra push when we get back into the season. Because I always wanted to have that edge over everybody else. So, it's just that mindset that I have. I want to be one of the best. So, I gotta push myself. If anybody else does. And it's like a lot of stuff that I want to do with my son that I can't do because I'm playing ball. So my biggest return to him is just, having him come to games on Saturday. He can see his father play in front of, thousands of people. It makes him happy. So whenever he's happy, I'm happy. But just when I get the chance to just go home and, hear everything, he's been doing in school and, what he likes and doesn't like, it just brings me back to that fatherhood of just being around him, and that's what I like to do. I put academics over football because, I can't play football forever. At some point, I'm going to have to rely on that degree. So, that's my biggest thing, and that's one reason why I came to Southern, to get that degree. So I set myself up to where I'll be able to graduate right after the season. So if football doesn't work out for me, I can always come back and go to grad school. So, education is a big thing for me.
Danny Johnson put Southern University on a, national stage. Obviously, everybody knows about Jag Nation and Southern University, but you'll see Danny Johnson playing on Sunday one day, and he'll be able to be an ambassador, for the university.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. My brother Perry White is on the line. Perry, good morning.
Did you call me Brother Perry White?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I was just like, did she say Brother Perry White? Okay, I feel real angelic this morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good
to
morning.
have you guys with us.
Yeah, good morning. And we're back.
We are. Look, Brandi, as we continue to move through the summer, you get closer to SWAC Media Day. We're going to have Coach Roger Cador here on the show with us here in a few minutes. I'm going to call and wake him up. But, of course, we have the HBCU Swingman Classic that took place yesterday over in Arlington, Texas. This MLB All-Star Weekend. And because of that, a part of that festivity, of course, of this annual game each and every year, for MLB, they have now incorporated in this second year the HBCU Swingman Classic, in which HBCU players from all around the country, 50 Division I HBCU baseball players between the MEAC and the SWAC, have now come together to be able to showcase their talent on a national stage in front of an audience of big leaguers and fans of the big leaguers. And so, we'll have Coach Roger Cador to talk to us more about that, because he was on the forefront, like he is for a lot of things when it comes to baseball and HBCUs, being able to showcase talent and put the word out there in terms of what's going on at these schools. And he was a consultant, doing a lot with King Griffey Jr. and so many others that were behind the scenes in order to make this thing a tremendous success, bringing together HBCU athletes along with MLB and forming that partnership. We've seen it in the past with the Andre Dawson Classic and so many other games and tournaments. So this was a good thing to have, and I'm glad to have. We're going to have Coach Roger Cador, of course. If you don't know who he is, the legend, the man, the myth himself. I told him he's in more Hall of Fames than anybody that I know. We're going to have him on the show to talk more and give us in depth about what was the results of the game. Last night they incorporated the HBCU bands as a part of the game with Texas Southern and Prairie View, adding that extra flavor to it. And then next year this thing is going to move over to Atlanta. So as you continue to move across the South and incorporate more and more HBCUs, you can't help but just think that this thing is going to continue to grow more and more. Later in the show, we're also going to have Chris Scott, Southern University linebackers coach, for a lot of our old school Jaguars who were following the Jags back in the 80s. You'll remember Chris Scott, a linebacker for Southern University. He's also, to this day, Brandi, he's still the all-time leading tackler in Southern University history. And now he's come back to be a part of the program in year 2 to be on this coaching staff. So we're going to have a walk down memory lane, so to say, with him. I met with him earlier this week, and listen, he has stories of all types of eras, and he's a Capital High School guy with, right there in Baton Rouge, stayed home in Baton Rouge to go to college. And so the stories, the history, the wisdom that he has, I think, goes very deep. So we should have an interesting conversation in terms of, just his journey being at Southern and now coming back, coaching at Southern and still holding that record as the all-time leading tackler in Southern University history. And a lot of people may not know that. You're talking through the 80s. I think he said he was there from 84 to 88. So for a lot of us, us younger Jags, that was a little bit before our time, Brandi. So there's sometimes some history that because we was not around, we didn't quite get to understand or hold true to us like the history that we actually get to watch nowadays.
Well, that's going to be a wonderful conversation. Yeah, and like I've told you before, don't have a accessible archive for the sports history. You know what I mean? So it's always great to kind of hear about things that maybe we can't really always find the clips for, or you know what I mean? And there's been many times on this show that we've talked about stuff where it's just kind of hearsay and what you've heard and talking to the people that saw it at the time. So it'll be great to hear from him and maybe get a peek into what they're doing over there, or what we should be expecting come the fall.
I think the Jaguar Journal at this point is going to probably become the archive. It's going to be up to you and I, Brandi, to be able to talk to these people, get these stories, and be able to spread the message of so much history that, I have this conversation with people all the time. I was born in the late 80s, and I can remember the 90s feeling like, or the 80s feeling like, it was just 10 years ago, right? And, of course, I've gotten older. We all have. But now having that separation of realizing even just the 90s were 20 plus years ago, and in my mind, I still can't quite put that together that the 90s was just literally that long ago, Brent. I don't know if it feels the same with you with certain eras where it just seemed like it was yesteryears, but when you really take a step back, it's like, dang, you mean 20 plus years we've been out of the 90s?
Yeah, no, I think that's what happens the older you get. It's just, that's a part of life. That's definitely a part of the circle of life. But we're already doing a great job of kind of archiving some of those stories to make sure that we're at least getting a brief look into, those times. I'm big on that. Like, I'm always preaching the archiving of the stories and how important it is to archive them when we can. If you have resources, it's definitely important to put that into archiving, to saving those things. It's hard, tedious work sometimes, especially when you're trying to find the physical proof, you know what I'm saying? The physical printouts from the newspapers. And I don't know if I told you, but when I did that story a few months ago with Coach Cador, it was very difficult to go through those old newspaper archives, even though the old newspaper is on microfilm, and now they've digitized it, which makes it a little bit easier. But looking for Southern University baseball newspaper clips from, back in the 60s and 50s and 70s was very tedious. It was probably more tedious than it was to find old politics stuff from the 1800s. And I mean that sincerely. And I don't mean hard to find little write-ups of the scores, you know what I mean? But to find actual articles about the team and about, full write-ups of the game with people's names and stuff, it kind of became, it was a little bit more tedious. I could tell that not a lot of resources were going into covering all the HBCU sports, especially not, tennis, football, not football, baseball, even golf or track, but specifically baseball, and to find pictures. Oh my God. Can I tell you how hard it was to find pictures from 50 years ago of baseball players and baseball teams at Southern University? I could talk about it all day because I'm a journalist, obviously. So it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm glad that we're doing it here at the Jaguar Journal. I'm glad we're going to be talking to some of these guys today, and, it's going to be here on YouTube, so people will be able to revisit it and get some of that insight.
Do you believe from a media standpoint, of course, you working with local media, that local media has done a better job in terms of covering Southern University, and I'm saying in a positive light in terms of archiving what we see with the accomplishments of today?
I think, from a journalist standpoint, it's difficult, to always be archiving, quote unquote, because you can't be everywhere at once. I can say that the internet, digital media has made it a lot easier, and not just easier, it's more accessible. So there's more of us, you know what I mean? That one, there's more representation. There's more of us working in this space. So there's more of us speaking up to say, hey, we need to cover Southern University. You know what I mean? And two, the digital part, all I got to do, Perry, I could take out this here iPhone, turn it sideways, and now I'm filming a game. I can literally send it from standing where I'm at on the sideline, send it back to the newsroom, or I could post it myself right now. You know what I mean? I think that has made it, that's what's made things a little bit different. Does that mean that it's getting the same amount of coverage that it should? Probably not. I wouldn't argue that it is, but I definitely see that the accessibility and of the internet is really what has made it, you know what I'm saying? Where you can find so many more from the last 20 years, even going back 24 years, the last 30 years, you start to find a lot more. And that's because of the increasing accessibility over time of the internet, of technology, better technology. And that's only going to continue to increase. You know what I mean?
And, and I look at the special space that Southern is in, including with the market of at least having media with multiple news stations that will come and cover games. And, I always think about how we're looking at going back in the past and trying to find history to tell stories of today. What is it going to be like for our kids and and beyond, when they go back and look at during our times of being around and being able to try to tell the stories of what we're watching and covering these days. And, you know, aside from Southern, I think about the other HBCUs and the other spaces that have tremendous stories and just passion behind what they have had with pageantry of history that ultimately didn't even have what Southern had in terms of having local media to at least write a story or to come over and cut on the camera and interview or to capture moments or even having a show like the Jaguar Journal. There's so many other schools who have history that we think we don't have at least a little bit of what we're trying to capture. A lot of these schools don't have anything to capture.
Oh, yeah, no, and it's not easy work. You know, it takes people that love it genuinely to do, you know, journalism work for real. But it's very important that we're here, and we obviously are going to be a voice for both the Jaguar fan and a platform, giving a platform to some of the Jaguar coaches and insiders so that everybody can kind of get an insight to our favorite university. It's that time, Perry. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back on the other side, and I think we're going to get those interviews going, right, Perry?
Trying to wake Coach Cador up. You know, it's a little bit different in time for him. Let's see if he up.
All right, well, we'll wake him up. We're going to take a quick break. This is the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket. And his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And it's a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
pass.
It's
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes. Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable, Michael Hayes. 3rd down. And 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing, nice catch made.
Receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. You know, I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down and 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet, and Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back 5 yards. Levy on 3rd down. Looking down the sideline. Yes, sir! Big time play.
Guys stepping up like they're going to blitz. He really.
And we are back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. Perry White is on the line. Good morning to everybody out there. Good morning, Perry.
Good morning, Brandi. You know, as we continue to keep the Jaguar Journal going this morning, we got a very special guest. I always call him the man, the myth, the legend, He's no stranger to the show. He's no stranger to anybody around Baton Rouge. Welcome to the show this morning, Coach Roger Cador. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. Good morning, Brandi. How are you?
Good morning, Coach. I'm doing well. How are you doing this morning?
Doing really good.
Did Perry have to wake you up? He's making it seem like he had to wake you up from your slumber.
No, baby, I've been up. I'm an early bird. I get up like you. You get up early.
That's what I thought. That's why I wanted you to get on here and clear the record, because Perry, for the last 2 hits, has said, I got to wake him up. I got to wake him up. So I wanted you to clear the record.
He knows he doesn't have to wake me up.
So she'll throw you under the bus quick, boy. I tell you.
Well, we got to keep you. We got to keep you in line.
No, I like to keep my good relationships out here. That's all.
There you go, dear.
But Coach,
you've been doing a good job too, Brandi. You've been doing a good job.
All right,
you've been a great addition. Okay.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you so much.
Coach, as we start the conversation, you have been an integral part in terms of what we have in year 2. The HBCU Swingman Classic, part of the MLB All-Star Weekend festivities. And you, along with Ken Griffey Jr. and many others, have been behind the scenes for years trying to make this thing come into reality from just a dream. And last year started out with the inaugural HBCU Swingman Classic over in Seattle, Washington. Of course, Seattle is a long way from the HBCU footprint of what we see here near the South and the East Coast. But now, having it down closer to the South, closer to the footprint in Arlington, Texas, doing MLB All-Star Weekend, Coach, talk to us about what was the whole purpose of getting this game for the HBCU Swingman Classic, where 50 HBCU All-Star baseball players from Division I level from across the South and the East have getting the opportunity to showcase their talents on the big stage.
Well, Perry, it was 3 years to make this happen. So it was a lot of diverse situation going into it. We started with this, came with, you had to keep changing up to make it fit. How do we fit it? Well, we knew that we only had 17 Division I school from HBCUs. So we had to get kids, and we know the MEAC did not play baseball as a league, but they play in different conferences. So we had to find ways to make it work. So we said, we'll get at least one player from each of the 17 HBCU schools. Some schools will have more, but everybody will have at least one. And that really worked out well, because for the kids who were originally in the MEAC, they got to be a part of this event. MLB did not leave them out. We brought them into the fold. And we brought some pretty good players along the way. And after that, the other thing was, how do we fit it into the All-Star Weekend? Well, obviously the commissioner had to get on board, and he got on board in a big way to make this thing happen. So, I mean, it took 3 years of working behind the scene, and we got it done.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this.
Go ahead, Brandi.
What do you think this means for those young players that got to participate in this, especially now that it is, with the MLB, and I know it took y'all so long to make it happen. What do you think that this did for them, being able to participate and be on the national stage?
When I stepped onto that field yesterday, I'm saying, if those kids don't feel goosebumps all over their body to be able to play in that kind of facility, and I did tell a few of them that they have an experience that's only 50 kids is going to experience in all of college baseball. Just think how unique that is. You're in a small group of people. Only 50 kids get to experience this. So it's not for everyone. It's a unique situation, and only every year it's going to only be 50 kids going to get to have this experience with All-Star Weekend, with the future game. I mean, it's just a grand event. If anyone haven't been to an All-Star event, it's grand. It's grand with all the facility and festivities that take place. It's just out of this world. That's the best way I can put it. Major League Baseball don't cut short anything. Everything is big league. It's big time. So there are a lot of things going on that people can enjoy and be a part of.
So you're talking about being able to put this on the big stage, big names. What has the reception been from MLB and the big leaguers? For a lot of those people, they don't necessarily have a connection to HBCUs and particularly HBCU baseball. So for a lot of people, this is the first time they've been able to get an understanding of it, to see it. What has that been like, opening that door for people who have not quite been used to this culture that we have?
Well, you're correct. They haven't been a part of it, and to them is a whole new world that is being presented to them. And last night, they got to show that they appreciate this new world. I'm telling you, I have not been to any event like it other than a major league game or maybe a big-time college baseball game. These people, the fans who attended, 16,000 or so, took this to a whole new level. They had such a good time, and the fans enjoyed it. You know what? I was so happy for those African-American people who showed up to come be a part of it, and they got to see what a lot of time our fans don't do. They're afraid to let it hang out and have fun at the sporting event. You know what I'm saying? But, boy, I tell you, this was not the case last night. They did it. They were like they were at a all-star major league game, and the crowd and the noise and the enjoyment, man, I'm telling you. I was saying to the people from MLB, this I have not experienced before. And I was being honest. You know, and I've been to a lot of Southern football games. It was a little different. It's different than a football game and a baseball game. You got me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that's where you're going to get the crowd at HBCUs at football games. You got me? But last night, they were in a whole different atmosphere, a whole different world. And I was happy to see it.
Well, Coach,
That's Brandi?
You know, I am. I'm looking right now because some of the players have posted some of their TikToks after the game last night, and they are talking about how it's just exciting stuff. That one, people got to watch it on MLB Network, or the fact that they got to play in a major league stadium and get that entire experience, and to showcase that entire experience to the world. So now that we've got this thing rolling, what can people expect from the Swingman Classic moving forward? And will some of these players in the future have an opportunity to play in the majors?
Yes, I would have to say there were some decent players out there. People with the MLB who hadn't seen. I do a whole different phase with MLB, but there were some people who came out of the office, and the first time they were impressed with the talent level of the kids on the field. You got me? They were not expecting that. And the committee that I'm a part of, we really picked 50 good kids. You know, we got at least 5 or 6 kids could maybe be drafted. I'm telling you, I never expected that either. I was thinking 2 or 3, but it could be more than that. And we have some young players who have come to the league. If they stay, with the transfer portal, they may not stay because the league lost a lot of good players too that transfer out to bigger schools. So if they're able to keep them in, they're going to have some good players for the future. And that's go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's the biggest challenge facing HBCUs when you get a good player. Are you going to be able to keep them? And that's the key. Because their kids ain't staying around anymore.
Right. All right,
so, you look at the atmosphere this year, you guys did something different with this game. You incorporated HBCU bands, and it's not often you get a chance to see HBCU bands incorporated with baseball, let alone on a big stage like this with MLB All-Star Weekend. How was that reception from people being able to see that incorporated this year.
Yeah, now, Prairie View wasn't able to come because of the hurricane. Did a lot of damage on their campus. So Texas Southern was the only one that showed up. And I tell you, they really enjoyed it. But it was not just the band. It was all the other component that they had, that MLB put together with it. I'm telling you, they took it to a whole new level.
Yeah, I'm seeing Kirk Franklin.
Yes, it took it to a whole new level. And I'm thinking next year, they're already talking about Atlanta next year, that they're going to blow the roof off. Because they saw what it could be like this year. You got me?
Yeah.
They had a sample of what it really could be like. And they're saying, we're going to Chocolate City next year. It's going to really be something special.
Okay, well, we're going to have to get the Human Jukebox to be a participant next time.
Yes. If CJ would send you all to Atlanta, that would really be nice.
Coach, you're going to have to open the door and get us over there to be a part of this next year. I think this will be big, and especially SWAC, the baseball tournament has now transitioned to Atlanta. You know, you get the MEAC SWAC Challenge every year, the Celebration Bowl. So the footprint of HBCU athletics is really taking on calling Atlanta home, and now bringing this all-star games to Atlanta next year. I think that'll be tremendous when you look at the overall aspect of continuously growing this, getting bigger crowds, and getting more people to participate. And what I like about this, Coach, is what we've seen across the country. We have seen the lack of interest coming from the African-American community, black folks, right? When it comes to being a part of MLB, watching games, showing up to games, actually playing as big leaguers in those games. So do you think this has kind of turned the table for us as we continue to try to build more interest back into MLB baseball, of getting people to be a part of the weekend, the All-Star weekend, as well as potentially getting some of these guys into the big league and starting to be household names again?
Well, you never know when you turn the table. We do know we showed a marked improvement. We doubled the amount of attendance from Seattle to Arlington. And as we go into the demographic, where there's going to be more African-American people in Atlanta, we're expecting more people going to show up. We're going to do more events. We can get more colleges involved because they're all congregated right there in Atlanta. You got me? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've already begun the conversation about what we're doing for next year. We're not waiting until we get to next year. The conversations have already started about how we're going to do some things for next year. So it's going to be bigger. We'll double it. And as the demographics, we move into it. From there, we go into Philadelphia. We go into Washington, D.C. I mean, so we're moving where there's a lot of African-American people in the community, and they'll be able to experience something that they hadn't experienced before. This is a lot different because this is baseball. This is not football. Baseball has not done this the way we're doing it since the Negro League. We put an entertainment with a game, and I think that's really what's making it unique.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing they had 8 Divine Nine showcasing some of their step routines and the band. So it's a whole experience. So, Coach, the question that I want to know, obviously for research and development for this show, it would be work related. You think that there would be some kind of opportunity for Brandi and Perry there at the Swingman Classic next year?
Well, I tell you what, a lot of young people. They had 2 young men who met me in New Orleans, and they got to be a part of the event. MLB put them on, let them do a couple of innings on the radio or the TV. So, but as it relates to you, oh my goodness, Brandi and Perry, there's always a possibility. You never know. I'm gonna throw the name out there and see if we can get something done. But
Coach, all we need is some little media passes, man, so we can maybe do our little Jaguar Journal show from there.
I got plenty of problems. That's not one of them. That one, we could get that done. No, because they know I'm bringing people who are going to help promote the sport. They have no problem working with me because they know I'm all about promoting, furthering the game, getting the word out, So, matter of fact, when I was waiting on Perry to call me, one of the guys from MLB called and said, "You're working already, Coach. That's the way it is. That's the way to work." So I'm working.
Coach, where it grows with a relationship where this goes beyond just the players on the field, but the opportunity for HBCU alums, HBCU students, where there's a real partnership with MLB to that community in which we all have come from. And I think that's the true essence of where you want to see this thing grow, where it's just beyond the diamond and the players throwing the ball on the field, but this opens up internship opportunities for young people at our HBCUs to be able to get into the world of MLB, where they can learn to be executives, where they can learn to do whatever the case may be to open those doors and open their eyes, and as well as for alums like Brandi and myself who cover these sports, who put the word out there, where you just continue to see the snowball effect of this growing bigger and better at bringing in the HBCU community and the opportunities in a field that I believe when you look at Major League Baseball and those front offices and the behind the scenes, you don't see a lot of people that look like us.
No. I had a conversation with Sierra Santos. I don't know if you all seen her on baseball. She's one of the guests. She's Sierra Santos. She's a lady that's one in the host of baseball, not tonight, but she have her own show on MLB. And she and I had a long conversation, and she says, "Can you help me so I can do more to get the word out?" And I said, "Not only you, Sierra, I'll need to get it in my community and other communities where the people at the grassroots level can hear about it, and they'll have more of a sense of urgency or belief and interest if they can hear it coming from the Jaguar Journal rather than an outside entity." You got me? It's just something about hearing it from the local people that make people believe in it and want to be a part of it. And so we got to do a little better job of getting the younger people involved and creating more opportunity with the things you talked about, Barry and Brandi. So we'll start. We got the three of us, and next year we'll get some passes and get y'all a part of it. And because Atlanta is going to be booming.
And you hear we ready to work, Coach. You ain't got to beg us. See, most cases you got to, man, I can't find nobody to do no work. We saying we want to do the work.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Perry, I think we need to take a quick break. We're going to be counting down
Coach, thank you for
to Atlanta
with us, Coach.
For the HBCU Swingman Classic with the MLB to open up MLB All-Star Week. All right, Perry. Thank you so much, Coach Cador. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills. We'll be back on the other side of this with much more of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White. And what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with 4th fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss. And a nice catch. Ricks on the 1st and 10. Little draw play. Takes it outside. He's got the 1st down.
But Ricks going to take it up the...
Good morning. We are back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. My good friend Perry White is on the line. Perry, we only have a few more seconds here, but that was a wonderful conversation, kind of recapping the HBCU Swingman Classic to open up MLB All-Star Week that happened last night or yesterday evening over in Arlington. Next year, we're going to be heading to ATL, so can't wait for that. Perry, we only got 20 more seconds here. I know we're going to take a quick break. Now, when we come back at the top of the hour, I'm going to recap some news for us. And then at 8:15 or later on in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking to SU linebackers coach Chris Scott. So can't wait for that conversation. We're going to take a quick break here. This is the Jaguar Journal. We'll be right back.
Southern was a little late to the game of football. They had started earlier in the CIAA up at Hampton and those schools up there. And when J.S. Clark became president of Southern University in 1914, he had already visited Tuskegee and these Howard and the other schools, and they had a football program. And he wanted to compete with them, not just in the classroom, but also on the football field. So it started as an intramural. We had intramurals when we first came in 1914 through 1916-17. And then the intramural program evolved into the varsity, into the football program in 1918. Coach Big Charlie Holmes from Colorado State, he came here as an assistant coach, but he took over around 1922, 1923, and he did very well through the early 20s. But he came up to 26. He broke even. He was expected to do well, and 27. I don't find any records where he won any games there, and he was replaced. But the person he was replaced by was a legendary. Name is Bryce Union Taylor from the University of Southern California. Out there, he had been an All-American. He was the guy that stopped the four horsemen of Notre Dame, and then he went to Chaffin University in South Carolina at 27. In 1928, he became the head football coach at Southern University and athletic director, and he really put Southern on the map. He had a lot of firsts. First of all, he had the first All-Americans we had came under him. Therefore, he had the greatest winning percentage in Southern University. He won 85% of his game here, and he had our first undefeated season in 1931 when he was 7-0, and but he was not declared national champ, but he was considered for that. But he was our first great coach during that early period, Bryce Union Taylor. We don't want to forget him. Arnett W. Mumford, he's a national icon in coaching. He had coached 10 years in Texas, Jarvis Christians, Bishop, and Texas College. But the last 5 or 6 years at Texas College, he was very, very outstanding. He won 2 SWAC titles, and he had won a national black championship at Texas College and 35. So therefore, Southern was interested in getting him here, and Dr. Felton Clark was very instrumental, the person to get him here. But his impact it goes much further than Southern University and State of Louisiana. He won 12 SWAC titles, 10 of them at Southern and 2 at Texas College. And he won 5 or 6 national black championships. And also, he was very successful in the first interracial bowl game, the Fruit Bowl in San Francisco in 1948 when he played San Francisco State. And he won that game decisively. But his influence extended much further than the boundaries of Southern University. He was recognized nationally as a great coach. His winning record, he didn't coach over a period of 35 years, and a couple of those years they didn't have teams because of the war. But he won 246 games, second only to Eddie Robinson with his 402 game over 55 years, I should add. And so it always had loyal supporters, and they would follow the team everywhere they would go in large numbers. So Southern became the team that everyone loves to beat, loves every Saturday. It's the toughest game we have every Saturday. So if they don't win another game, they figure if they win the Southern game, they had a good season. And because we carry a large crowd with us everywhere we go too, so a lot of people like that. And we like to brag about how good we are. And of course that helps out. But it is a vista to the university, using the football athletics period to use that way to introduce the university to people who may not have known the university. Went through a period of 20 years, 30 years, I believe it was, after Mom, till we got Coach Pete Richardson in 1982, 83, and then he returned us to the glory years. Rivalry with Grambling has always been there because it's an intrastate rivalry. And we played Grambling a few times before 1948, but after then, we didn't play them anymore until we became a member of SWAC in 1959. But FAMU filled that void with Jake Gaither and A.W. Mumford. Those were some of the greatest games that you ever would see. And they became our main rivalry after 1948. But the exposure that the biggest thing that we can say about the
Good morning. Welcome back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. Happy Saturday to everybody. We're going to check in with Perry White in a few minutes here. Now that we're at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, I want to just kind of talk about some news headlines this morning because there are several of them. Here locally in Baton Rouge, if you did not know, I'm going to just remind y'all, I'm a local journalist here. I anchor the morning news on WBRZ Channel 2, The Deuce. It's called Tune In. I also host Love 225, where I highlight the color and culture of the greater Baton Rouge area. So you can go ahead and follow me on social media as well. If you are watching us on YouTube right now, make sure you tap in there with Love 225 as well. Got some pretty big headlines, though. A federal judge telling Baton Rouge police that they have to have better reasons to do strip searches on people. They had a problem recently with what they called the Brave Cave, where they had been strip searching people in a cave, kind of clandestine and secret and not listed on official records. So there's been a whole litany of cases associated with that, but a federal judge telling them that they have to have a better reason to do that. Also here locally, East Baton Rouge schools, lots of controversy after they still do not have a superintendent less than a month from the first day of school. So next Thursday, there will be another meeting where hopefully we will find out who will be the new superintendent coming out of Baton Rouge. Teachers unions, 3 different teachers unions here in East Baton Rouge Parish, threatening to strike, not show up on the first day of school, coming up on August 8th. So big controversy there. But I do want to draw focus to a story that's gaining more national attention that I covered back in February that also has a Southern University tie. So we know about some of the founders. We know about T.T. Elaine, okay? We know about PBS Pinchback. But do you know about Mr. Henry DeMoss? He was also a representative in the state house back in the 1830s, if I'm getting the dates right, but in the 1800s. He's also one of the founders of Southern University, which we all know started in New Orleans. Now, what's happening right now in St. John the Baptist Parish, there's a small town. It's known as a freedom town in its history, but they're fighting with the local government and essentially with the state and federal government to protect their town from heavy industry. Let's take it all the way back. A few weeks ago, we got some reports from some scientists that said that Louisiana had even higher rates of toxic emissions in Cancer Alley than were previously predicted. Why is it called Cancer Alley? Well, it has a much higher rate of the people there getting cancer than in other places. A lot of those places are right along the river in some river parishes. One of those places is St. John the Baptist Parish, and now we're zooming in on this small little town of Wallace. Now, how does Henry DeMoss and Southern University tie into that? Well, Henry DeMoss was enslaved on plantations in St. John the Baptist Parish around Wallace. What is Wallace? Wallace is known as a freedom town. All up and down Cancer Alley along the Mississippi River and some of these river parishes are these small conclaves of communities where freed enslaved people, so free black folks, built their own communities and established their own freedom towns where they were free, they had businesses, they were politicians, they were landowners, they did a lot of great things. And almost all of those towns there's just markers of them because of heavy industry. Joy and Joe Banner, Dr. Joy Banner, they're in St. John the Baptist Parish in Wallace, have been trying to protect their little freedom town and their long family history in their little freedom town from heavy industry. What is the heavy industry? Well, a company named Greenfield is trying to build a grain elevator there that would take up 222 acres on their freedom town. I wish I could show y'all the visuals. I went on down there and I talked to these ladies about this fight that they're having. And again, it's with the local government. There's a lot of ties to the parish president there in St. John the Baptist Parish, and they have a project called the Descendants Project. That's their nonprofit where they're working to preserve the history of some of these freedom towns. Now, how does that tie to Southern University? Well, Henry DeMoss was a huge, huge, huge force when it came to establishing Southern University. How? Well, if we go back to post-Civil War, and you have Reconstruction, such a brief period of American history, a lot of black people, freed black people, were being elected to high positions. Henry DeMoss was one of those. He was highly respected by people of all races all over this state, some of the most powerful people. He was in politics for many, 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 many years. Towards the end of Reconstruction, even after winning re-election, and knowing that he had an opportunity to continue working as legally work as a representative in the state house, he was threatened with violence to take that seat, so he couldn't. So in his last few years, all of them in those last few years, they found a few $1,000s to establish Southern University in New Orleans. Why is that important? Now, he was on the side of keeping Southern in New Orleans. That's what he argued. I found those newspaper clippings where he argued that. But at the end of the day, we all know that Southern ended up over here in Baton Rouge, and that's okay because they needed a larger landmass to continue the agricultural department, which it still has today, which is a key component of keeping our university. So why is all of that important? Because all of that history would likely be destroyed if that grain terminal was there. Now, the U.S. Corps of Engineers has already written many reports that this grain elevator would actually negatively affect a lot of the historical sites around that area because it's such a huge grain elevator. The grain elevator company is claiming that they recognize that they've done all the studies to say that there are no enslaved people buried there. But these women and their nonprofit, the Descendants Project and the Banner Sisters, what they're trying to do is argue that, one, it's all so historical, that people like Henry DeMoss's story is so important that it needs to be protected specifically from any kind of industry. And of course, this would negatively impact the health of the people in that area. Now, one of those things you need to know, Henry DeMoss was so respected. I found the clippings to prove that people, state Supreme Court justices, other state representatives, the lieutenant governor, those were the people that showed up to his funeral. He was such a big deal and so well respected for his work in the state house and in politics in Louisiana. And again, helped to establish and found our great Southern University. So that's starting to get a lot of national attention because, again, it's a fight for environmental justice And it's a fight to protect our history. And like I said, a lot of our story is not being archived. So I take a lot of great measures to make sure that we're digging deep and I'm finding the actual information on this. So if you've seen these stories about the Joy sisters, the Banner sisters, they've also just purchased a plantation. A plantation for the first time in nearly 200 years is being owned by some black folks. And the story of that plantation, America's biggest slave revolt, started right there. So looking very forward to talking to them again about how, and they did not go to Southern University, just to clear that up, but they were very surprised to learn this story about one of our great founders and how that story has not been told, and it could potentially be damaged, greatly damaged, or negatively impacted by the industry that's coming there. And of course, this is all a fight for environmental justice. I can go on and on and on all day. Now, coming up in a few minutes, we're going to get Perry back on the line, and we're going to talk some more about Southern University football because we are counting down to football season now. Want to remind you, coming up on Friday, August 23rd, I will be hosting, emceeing, whatever you want to call it, the second annual gala for Southern University Athletic Department. It's their second annual gala. We're raising money for Southern University athletics, for student athletes, for a lot of the big projects they have going on in the athletics department. I know last year, y'all may remember the addition of the LED lights into the game. Well, they have even some better projects lined up for the funds that they're going to be raising on August 23rd. So I hope y'all will join us. We're going to be honoring some legends, as we do always. Big musical components there. We're going to get universal language. If you weren't there last year, if you didn't get to see them at Live After 5, you definitely, or at any of the other festivals, they're always everywhere. You're definitely going to want to see universal language. But then the big main event, Music Soul Child. So I know a lot of my millennial folks, we're going to be tapped in for that. That's all happening August 23rd. You can go to the Southern University Athletic Department website to buy your tickets for that. Super exciting. I told y'all 2-3 weeks ago, I'm in my get dressed up and step out era. And this is one of those events that you're not going to want to miss. Had the pleasure of hosting it last year to kick it off, the inaugural one. And now we have the second annual one that's happening at the Baton Rouge Raising Cane's River Center, Friday, August 23rd. Again, you can get your tickets over on the athletic department website. Now, also, when we come back, like I said, we're going to have Perry. We're also going to be talking much more football. We've got Chris Scott, the SU football linebackers coach, coming on to talk to us about his time, a little bit of football history there. He came out of Capitol High School. Capitol High School, man, so much athletic history. So many great athletes came out of Capitol High School. The great Simone Augustus came out of Capitol High School. So can't wait to talk to him really specifically about that. But he also has some records that I think he still holds at Southern University. And now he's going to be coaching the linebackers. So hopefully we can get some insight into that. And we're counting down to HBCU, the SWAC Media Days that's coming up in a few days. Hopefully we can get a better idea, a true idea. I know y'all heard Perry kind of ranting about that last week, that maybe we're not getting a true idea of what we can expect from SWAC coaches because of the way that the system is set up there. So I really want to hear more about that, and hopefully we just become that platform. We don't have to wait for SWAC Media Days. We want our Southern University coaches to come here, let us be a platform so that they can talk directly to the fans and let us know exactly what to expect and what's going on in our programs. So we're looking forward to that. Of course, we just talked to Coach Cador. Hopefully, if you are following us on the YouTube page, you have liked, followed, subscribed. You're sending it to your friends, to your mom and them, okay? Make sure y'all tap in. Good morning to all of y'all that are joining us there on the YouTube or the Facebook page. Thank y'all so much. Somebody said, look at that SU journalism degree. Sure is. Look at that Southern University journalism degree. It took a lot of very foundational work there at Southern University, but there's so much more that I'm still working to uncover at our great university. Again, we're looking forward to SWAC Media Day. I hope everybody can join us over at the Southern University Athletic Department Gala. Did I mention what we're raising money for? We're talking about new scoreboards. People have been complaining about that. That's one of those things. It looks like they're trying to enhance the fan game day experience, which for me means a lot, okay? Because when you're bringing kids to the game, you want to give them something to look forward to outside. And if they're not following the game, because some of them are not, it just makes it so much more of an enjoyable experience because it really just brings you in. And plus, I love a show, Okay, I love to be entertained, and for there to be all of that engagement where it doesn't matter where I'm sitting, you feel like you're a part of the show. I absolutely love that. Well, it's almost that time, 8:15. We're going to take a quick break and come back. And on the other side of this break, we'll be talking to SU football linebacker coach Chris Scott. So send us some questions if y'all are tapped in over there on the YouTube or on the Facebook. Send us some questions if you have some questions, because we are looking forward to talking to him and getting some better insight as we look forward to the football season. We're counting down to football season. Much more of the Jaguar Journal after this. We'll be right back.
Darius Skelton has really had this wave of momentum for Southern.
Yeah, first-year player in this program. I love his decision-making. He makes quick decisions, particularly when running the run-pass option game. That's his specialty. He's been an impact for this offense since he took over as starting quarterback.
Well, Darius Skelton is a dual-threat quarterback. He can throw the football. He's very good at throwing the ball down the field. We're going to work on this spring those intermediate passes, but down the field, he's one of the better down the field passes that I've seen.
Play action, Skelton going for it all, has a man, and hauling it in is Hunter Register.
And then when you talk about running ability, he has running back capabilities. He can go the distance. He has the speed to go the distance. He has the power, and he has the vision. And I think when you put that with a dual threat quarterback, I think he's the reason why we're so happy about this coming season.
Skelton feeling the pressure. Skelton eludes a couple of tacklers. He's still on his feet. Oh my! Little shake and bake juke move, baby.
Being a quarterback, man, it's not easy at all. It was hard being here and having the expectations to be the starter and not being the starter. It was overwhelming. Like, I was ready to play, and not playing when I was ready to play just made me kind of look at life differently and really think, should I be here or should I not? And I talked to God, and he just settled me down, and he told me to be patient. That's what I did.
Skelton, who started the last 6 games of 2018 for the Jaguars. They went 5-1. Their only loss to Alcorn State in the SWAC title game. Taking the jet sweep, and Skelton awfully good with his leg. Blitz. Register, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Nice grab. All who have had an impact here in the year going. Southern still. Skelton comes up for the 3rd time. Taking the jet sweep, he'll keep it. A good lead block as he cuts it to the outside. The fake to Ben. Skelton will run. And dragging with them for a few yards. Darius. The time, stepping up into the end zone, has Register. Flag down, catch made, touchdown, and it's actually first quarter yards. Southern 121, McNeese 40. Fresh set of downs as we begin the second quarter, and looking deep, Skelton for Register.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Good morning. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. Oh, Mike. Let's try it again. Good morning. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. There we go.
Good morning.
I'm just messing with you, Mike. We've got linebacker coach for the Southern University Jaguars, Coach Chris Scott, on the line. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great.
So I'm not going to lie to you. Perry told me this, that he's basically a walking encyclopedia. Would you say that that is a correct description or no?
You said that I am?
About Southern University football.
Oh, well, I've learned some things that I've learned to listen. So yeah, I've caught a lot from some of the older football players and by me coaching and just playing. So yeah, I can add to that. Yes.
And not just, okay, one, I love that you said, because you like to listen, which means that you're always a student. As a daughter of educators, I certainly appreciate that sentiment, that you're always learning, always soaking it up from other people. But the other note that he gave me, you were Capital High School alumni, right?
Yes, I am.
I love that. Capital High School has so much rich history in this city. It's amazing. It seems like every time I'm meeting someone or hearing about someone, that some athlete or some coach doing some amazing thing now or has some record in the record books, and they're like, oh, they're from Baton Rouge. They went to Capital High School. I'm like, really?
Right. Yeah.
There's so many of you. Simone Augustus also a Capital High grad. So many athletes that have come out of Capital. Talk to me about what it's like to be a part of that rich history.
Well, Capital High School has a deep tradition. You got Lamont Cole and Simone, me and Rufus Porter, and so back then our high school coach was Roman Bates, who was a standout at Southern University, who came from Memphis, Tennessee. And Capital High has put out a lot of great athletes. Armadine Brown. We had, as a matter of fact, the library, John B. Cade Jr., was our principal at Capital High School. So we have a deep tradition at Capital High. And we put a lot of guys at Grambling and females at Grambling, Southern University, Tennessee State, all over. So
yeah, y'all got people went to the pros, went NBA, NFL, so many players, so many athletes coming out of Capital High School. So how does it feel to be coming full circle and back with the Southern University Jaguar coaching staff again?
Well, it's always great to come home. And speaking of former players, Rufus Porter, which is my best friend. We've been friends since we were 13 years old. He played 11 years in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks and Tampa Bay and the Saints. Then you had we had Simone, who's a basketball player, which I've been knowing Simone since she was about 7 years old. I grew up with her dad. And then we had Sidney Thornton, who was a Pittsburgh Steelers in 1974, I think. 74, no. When the Steelers went to the Super Bowl, he was on the team. So it's a rich tradition, and it's great to know these guys. And then it's great to come back to Southern University. This is my third stint back, and I was offered a position to come back on the bluff, being a former alumni and former football player and in the Hall of Fame. And it's just great to come back and teach these young kids. We are teachers on the field, and it's a dying need right now, and I'm glad I'm a part of it.
Yeah, and I bet that helps with recruiting. Now, Coach, hold on. I think we got Perry on the line. I think he's ready to join us and tap in. Perry?
Coach Scott, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Listen,
right.
And good morning, Brandi, and everybody out there. I had an opportunity to talk to Coach Scott earlier this week, man. A walking encyclopedia, a walk down memory lane, so much history. And a lot of things that you were telling me this past week, Coach, I mean, you were literally painting the picture for me. And not only that, you were telling me about your playing time at Southern, that you almost went to Grambling.
Yes, I did. Never forget, 1984 in May, we as a matter of fact, Southern signed 5 of us. And I was so impressed with both schools, but I was so impressed with Coach Robinson, I wanted to play for him. And being that Coach Robinson is from Baton Rouge, McKinley High School, And the assistant principal, who I mentioned earlier, John B. Cade, he was our assistant principal, and he was a true Jaguar. And our principal, which was William Tex Turner, he was a Grambling man. So Grambling had came down to sign us, and Coach Bennett from Southern, he was there too. But we didn't know that Grambling coach was in the principal's office. So they brought all of us to Southern University's to Mr. K's office. And so we waited. Rufus them signed. 3 of them signed. Cornell and I, we were waiting on Grambling coach. And so we found out that we thought they wasn't there. So we signed with Southern University. And so once we walked out, that's when we saw the Grambling coach. So it was something amazing. I mean, I don't look back at it. I thought about it then. You know, I was a little bit mad, but it worked out. I think this was the greatest decision I ever made in my life. You know, so.
And a great decision it was, because you go down and you're still in the history book right now as the all-time leading tackler in Southern University history. And you told me the story about that wasn't even going to be your primary position. You got shifted over to that position at being that inside linebacker. You know, for everything to work out the way that it did, what's that story?
Man, I'll tell you, I always read Jeremiah 29:11, and it says, "For God knows the plans He has for you." I had no idea when I signed with Southern University. I was a strong safety. They moved me to strong safety, but I played linebacker at Capital High. But I wasn't as big once I came to Southern, and so I played linebacker my first year. I was redshirted. I didn't play at all. Then the spring they moved me to outside linebacker for 2 weeks. Coach Otis Washington. Then he moved me to inside linebacker a week after. And I asked him, I went to him, I said, "Coach, why you moved me back to inside linebacker?" He said, well, he saw the way I was built, and he felt that I could help them more as an inside linebacker. I wasn't scared at all, because I know I can play the position, but I was just wondering why, you know. And I felt then, after he told me, that he saw something in me I didn't see. And so the rest is history. You know, I broke a record from one of the greatest linebackers from Capital High School, which was Armadine Brown. He was Southern's all-time leading tackler. And I broke his record, which he's my homeboy. I broke his record, and Rufus broke his record. So the top 3 linebackers, the top 3 all-time leading tacklers in Southern's history is myself, Rufus Porter, and Armadine Brown, and all 3 of us went to Capital High School. I mean, all 3 of us went to Capital Middle, Capital High School, and Southern University.
Wow.
And then from the same area. Isn't that awesome?
That's a story to tell, Coach. I mean, and it shows the relationship, I think, for a lot of people, too. And this has always been this culmination of a conversation that we've had here about having hometown talent. Because a lot of people, when you look around, you see the talent in Baton Rouge, and we often say, man, we lose this talent because kids want to go other places or they just want to leave home. But I think that shows from that group of guys like you and many others what it means to be able to keep that talent at home and have those traditions and continue those traditions with the local kids. And how big is it for you to go out and recruit and try to make sure you can keep a kid at home?
Man, this is great, because the first thing when Coach Graves got this position, he said, we will not let these guys leave out of Louisiana, especially the Baton Rouge area. And so he put me on the Baton Rouge area. He said, Coach, you're from here. You would be a great asset here. And, man, I took that challenge. So we're hitting all these local schools. As a matter of fact, we got guys from Southern Lab. We have guys from Estruma High, Baker High, Parkview Baptist, Catholic High. So we're hitting these schools, and these are guys that want to come to Southern University. So we cannot let these guys get away. And so what we're doing also, we're building a program back to where we used to have it, to where we get these high school kids and groom them up that want to come to Southern University, have great GPAs, have a great mindset for being a student first and then an athlete. So that's what Coach Graves is developing here at Southern University right now, and we're doing an awesome job of it. And I appreciate you guys interviewing me to where I can set that out and let people know you don't have to send your kids out of state. You don't have to send your kids to Alabama in these schools. We have the same thing right here. We have great instructors, and we giving away education also.
Well, Coach, I love that. I'm glad I talked to you about that Capitol High School alum connection, because I knew that it had a rich history of getting young people from Capitol High School to any of the colleges, but to know that they were such a connection and getting kids to Southern University, and you are a part of that. I absolutely love that, because we love to see homegrown talent. It is important that the kids that are being born and trained to play football and play sports, that we're keeping them right here local at Southern University. It is 8:30, Perry. Coach, can we take a quick break and we'll continue this conversation on the next, right after the break?
Sure can. Let's do that.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. This is the Jaguar Journal. We do have a wonderful conversation going on. We'll be right back. Pay some bills after this.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
For the first time in the 79-year history of the Southwestern Athletic Conference Elite Championship game determines the overall champion today. Live from Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, it's the champions of the East, Jackson State, taking on Southern, the champs from the West. Hello, everybody. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. And I got to tell you, a great poet once said this is the way it's supposed to be. And it is. Number 11 Southern taking on number 15 Jackson State. Both programs have won 3 SWAC titles over the decade. So it's only fitting in the first SWAC championship game we determine the program of the decade. We've got a lot of offense out on the field. And yet this guy right here, he's going to tell you this game's all about D.
It's always all about D, George. You know that. It's always all about D.
An all-pro defensive end is going to tell you that. When you think about Jackson State, this is a team that is very potent offensively, but defensively they've led the SWAC throughout most of the year. They've got the best player in defense in the SWAC, and that's Tommy Head.
Tommy Head. Get used to saying that name. You'll say it all day. He'll be all over the field. He's always around the football. He's the leading tackler on this team. He also has 5.5 sacks.
At one point this year, Southern led the nation in scoring defense. Then they ran into Florida A&M. They've got a lot of guys out there that can get it done, but at the top of the list is DeMarcus Miller.
DeMarcus Miller, the linebacker coach, Terrence Graves, told me there's one word to describe this kid, and that is relentless. He's only 5'10", 285 pounds. He makes a lot of plays, though.
Relentless, appropriate word for our third member of the broadcast team, and that's Joe Clare, who's standing by down on the sideline. Joe?
Yes, indeed. I'm down here on the field capturing all the pageantry and revelry that is black college football. Birmingham, Alabama is a lovely city. This is the inaugural SWAC championship in their city, so they came out to have a good time. I will be covering the bands, the cheerleaders, shout-outs, all of that kind of stuff. Back to you guys up top.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. You know, earlier this year, Southern beat Jackson State, the 4th straight win over the Tigers. But what's most impressive about Southern, they haven't lost a conference game in 25 outings. They put it on the line against Jackson State. We look at the starting lineups brought to you by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. You saw the backs. Here's your offensive line. Damon Nivens is a first-team All-SWAC member. Defensively, there's your starting lineups for Jackson State's defense. Chandler, Tommy Head, Edward Reese, pretty good middle linebacker. Rashard Anderson is a professional prospect, and they say he will be in the NFL next year. There's your starting lineup. Brought to you by Western Union. Mark Washington is your quarterback, Destry Wright, the all-time leading rusher in school history, is the tailback. Jeremiah Todd is an all-SWAC selection.
Good morning and welcome back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. There we go. We on it. Perry White is on the line. And
yes.
Coach Chris Scott, Southern University linebacker coach, is on the line as well. Good morning. Welcome back again, Coach Scott.
Good morning. I'm here.
Having a wonderful conversation about Southern University football, tying it to getting those local recruits, because you were once a local recruit. We love to hear that.
Yeah. And it's great to be back, and it's great to just hit this area. And I'm gonna tell you something. When these schools see Southern University walk in, you ought to see how the guys' eyes just light up. You got parents that are big Southern fans that love to come to the game, and so when you go into those schools and talk to those kids and let Southern University walks in and wants to recruit you, it's a great feeling. It's a great excitement, you know, because we bring in 20, 25,000 fans wherever we go. And it's just exciting to see the kids, see the young men that want to go to Southern. And I'm glad that we are back into this situation to where we're going local, you know, and we can't let this local talent get away. We cannot.
Coach, you know, I have a question about your playing time. You were in a different era, considering the 80s and the fan base that followed the Jaguars during that time. What was the 80s like in terms of playing for football? And give us some names of some guys that may have been forgotten about since that time and for today.
Man, there's so many guys. And then I just want you to know this. If I don't call their names and then they're listening, just don't charge it to my heart, because it's so many great players I played with. You got Rufus Porter, Farrington Johnson. One of the greatest quarterback was Nate the Great. We call him Nate Harrison. Then we had Michael Roach, who I mirrored as a linebacker. Michael Roach and Stanley Williams, but Stanley went to he signed with Southern also. Then you had Ralph Griffin. But some of the guys I played with was Michael Ball. Michael Ball was 6'3", about 220, played cornerback. And he ran a 4.4. Maurice Hurst. Some of those great guys. But one of the greatest guys I always acknowledge, he played in front of me. He made me what I was as a linebacker. And this guy's name was Anthony Ray Hudson. He was the toughest 3-tech tackle. He was from Mansfield, Louisiana, and he could play football. And it's a lot of great guys at Southern. We can go on and on. Calvin McGee, he played tight end. He played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, we had Aaron Kent, but he was before my time, but he could run the football. Michael Adams, who played as a true freshman, running back for Southern University. He just retired as a firefighter. So it's a lot of great guys that played with us at Southern University during my time. And so we were coached by Coach Otis Washington and Coach Percy Dewey, who was a great defensive mind. Marino Castle was one of the greatest coaches I've ever seen. You know, he was a great worker. He got the best out of you. And so you got Bob Bennett, who signed us at Southern University, who was a great recruiter for Baton Rouge, and that's who I mirrored myself off. Coach Bob Bennett, who played at Southern University, played quarterback back in the 60s, I think, with Harold Carmichael and, like the late 60s, I think early 70s, if I'm not mistaken. But he was, I mirrored myself after him because he used to come to the local schools in Baton Rouge, and he would recruit, man. He would recruit guys. And I'm just glad that we are back in this area just to feel Southern University. See, I'm going to tell you something about local talent, what helps us. You know, with Southern University, when the guys come from Baton Rouge, that helps sell tickets because you got family members, then you got different schools seeing those players, and then they know that these players are exciting players. And people want to come and see a great football game. They want to see our local talent. So having a local talent, that's helped sell tickets.
You know, Coach, I that is exciting when you hear that history. And you told me something while you signed with Southern. You said how big the Bayou Classic was for you. And I believe that has to stand true when you talk about local kids and how big that game is for Southern.
See, a lot of people don't know. See, the Bayou Classic, we always had a pre-Bayou class. You want to know what that is? That was Capital High School and McKinley High School.
Right.
Because most of the Capital students went to Southern athletes, and most of McKinley athletes went to Grambling because Eddie Robb went to McKinley. So we would meet up again, you know, and playing at the Bayou Classic. I remember in 1982 seeing Southern University on television. I think it was 82, and we beat Grambling. I think it was 45 to something. I'm not sure. And Southern had a big running back. I can't think his name. He was a big running back, man. And just seeing that game on television, I said, wow. I said, Mom, I'm going to one of these schools, Southern or Grambling. And, back then, I'm talking about you had stars. I remember meeting Queen Latifah, Evander Holyfield, the great lawyer that was for O.J. Simpson. What was his name?
Johnny
Cochran. Man, I met so many stars. I met Joe Namath, Amar Rashad, guys that I mean, the love that they had for HBCU football and to see Southern and Grambling State University. And then I had an opportunity to coach at Grambling, for 3 years, and I had an opportunity to meet with Coach Eddie Robinson every Wednesday if time prevailed me to, and we talked football. And it was just so great just to have that opportunity. Now, we know before the game, we're friends. We'll call, we'll talk, but the week of that classic, we don't talk. It's very competitive. Very competitive because it's bragging rights to Baton Rouge. And it's bragging rights to Louisiana. So that's a multi-big game for us.
Well, I love hearing that history. I love hearing that there was the pre-Bayou Classic was actually Capital versus McKinley. I didn't even realize why that was so deep. I mean, I guess I just didn't make the connection of Coach Rob and McKinley High School and then kind of making it like a recruiting funnel directly to Grambling. I did not even realize that. Well, Coach Perry, I don't know about you, but I know that SWAC Media Day is coming. I know you've been saying a lot about we want to get that insight, some real insight into what we can expect for the season. And so I know you want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, Coach, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You go ahead. I'll come after you.
Well, everybody wants to know what Southern is going to look like this year, particularly you being a linebacker coach. What is that area for you defensively looking like? Because I think for a lot of people the past 2 years, you look at Southern's defense, it's pretty much been the bread and butter of keeping Southern in the game.
Well, I have a deep tradition. What we always say, defense win ball games, offense put people in the stands. But we're pretty much well-rounded as far as special teams, defense, and offense. What Coach Graves put together is something that I like because we both coach under Coach Richardson. And we are hard-working. The guys are biting into the system. And we have guys who want to be there. We have great students and great athletes that want to be part of Southern University. And all that comes to hard work and dedication, being on time, going to class, and doing the things that we ask you to do. And so what we're doing now, we're developing that type of team. And to say what we're going to look like, everybody want to win. But that's what we come to do, and that's what we're going to do. We bringing back this tradition. Coach has totally turned this team around, and that's what we like. I coached with Coach Graves when he came. And always an exciting guy, always up tempo. And so, but the thing is, we are teachers on the field. We teach. The guys don't understand it. We want them to give us that feedback. And the worst thing that can happen is that a guy can go on the field not knowing, not sure of himself. So that's one thing that we bring. And I'm excited about it. We're going to play some good defense. My linebackers, the guys that I coach, we have some great linebackers coming back. We have some great linebackers that we've signed, and so we're excited. We're excited about it because the linebacker is the quarterback of the defense, really. You got to know what's up front, and then you got to know what's behind you. And so it's a lot of teaching, and the guys are really, really biting into it, and we got good leadership by Derek Williams, and we got Josh Tate, and then so we got some new guys that we signed that we know that's going to help us, and we're excited also. But for the offensive side, we got Mark Frederick as offensive coordinator, which played at Southern University, and he's a go-getter, man. He's a hard worker. He loves the football. He loves the running football. He believes in that pounding and throwing the ball, but he's very evenly. And then we got Coach Todd, which is our special teams coordinator, who's been around a long time, different places. He's been Division I football, so he knows football, and he has the knack for being a great special teams coordinator. And then we got these veteran guys I played against. I played against the great Willie Totten and the great Fred McNair. See, and Fred was Air One. That's Steve's brother, and I'm talking about. I was a freshman with Willie, but me and Fred battled many times on that football field. So, and then like the other coaches, we got the great Sean Wallace, DeMarcus Miller, and Daniel Evans, and then we even have Coach Eddie Robb's grandson, great-grandson, Coach Burrell, that's on our staff. So, and then of course we got Henry Miller, who's the defense coordinator, the guru of it all, and we're very excited about it. So we know we're gonna do some things. We got some guys that know football. We got some guys that have over 20 years experience with football, and Coach Graves has put a great staff together, I think. And we're excited about seeing it.
And, Coach, I think one of the funniest things, if anybody's ever up there in the field house and around the football operations, when the defensive guys are in the room having a conversation, especially with Sean being in the room.
Sean Wallace was when Sean Wallace came to Southern University, Coach Dewey, Percy Dewey, and Floyd Johnson went to New Orleans and picked Sean up. He was playing summer league baseball. And this was in New Orleans. We could hear Sean from New Orleans down here to Baton Rouge. He has the loudest mouth, But you know what? I watched the film, and I saw them interview his mom, and he said he was just like his mom. So Sean, he's very boisterous. He's very outspoken, but he's good as gold. And he loves football, and I can remember coaching him. He said, "Coach, they're gonna run the ball right here. They're gonna run it right here." So he knows where the football is going, and he's very outspoken. And I'm glad to be a part of him now that he's coaching. And he's a great asset to us. He's a strong person. Yeah.
Well, Coach, I think. No, go ahead, Perry.
Well, I was going to say, man, it's been a pleasure having you on this morning, Coach. We can do this all day, but I know we're coming up against time, man. But trust me, this won't be the last time that we have you on the show and have these conversations, because these are the stories that Brandi and I always say need to be told, because our generation, right? I'm born in the late 80s. I grew up throughout the 90s. Your playing time was before I was born, but there's history there. There's stories to be told. And there's names to be remembered of people and guys who put their blood, sweat, and tears into making Southern University what it is that we love today. And that's why it's good to be able to have these conversations with you and many others who have been a part of this rich tradition and history, to be able to talk to us and tell us about these things. So trust me, it won't be the last time we have you on here to have these conversations, Coach.
Well, look, I appreciate it. You crack the whip, I'll make the trip. But I just want to say something to Brandi B. Harris.
Yes, thanks so much. Go ahead.
You don't remember me. I'm going to tell you who I am. My wife and I watches you every morning. My wife loves you. One morning when you came to Southern University with the cheerleading thing, early in the morning, y'all were doing a little commercial, something about Southern University. Early in the morning, you and I took a picture together.
Oh, okay. That was probably for homecoming.
I think it was homecoming. I think it was.
Yeah.
And yeah. I know you meet a lot of people, but I have that picture. I'm gonna send it to people.
No, I appreciate you. And Coach Scott, you tell the missus, aka the big boss, that I said hello and good morning, and I wish y'all well. And as soon as if she see me on campus this football season, she better come say hello.
I sure will. And look, I want to thank y'all for having me.
Thank you so much, Coach. We are so excited about the upcoming season. Of course, we want to always be your platform. So if you have an opportunity, if you ever want to come back and call back on the Jaguar Journal, we'll always love to have you. This is the Jaguar Journal. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, Perry, and we'll come on back and close this thing on out. This is the Jaguar Journal. We'll be right back.
Watching the Southern University Human Jukebox. Click here to watch more videos, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
All right, we are back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. Perry White on the line. Perry, good morning.
Good morning, Brandi. You know, I just want to tell you, I watch you every morning, okay? You get my day started, get my news.
Why are you such a hater? You don't have to be a hater.
Wait, I'm being so serious, Brandi. Come on now. Why I got to be a hater for telling the truth?
You ain't got to be a hater. We can free you from that hateration.
Now, I would be a hater if I say I was drinking it coffee every morning watching. Then you say, you know what? You hating because you don't drink coffee. But no, Brandi, you get my day started, seriously. And I appreciate having you here. See, I can't even say nice things these days. God, dog. In 2024, you just got to kind of keep your comments to yourself.
No, you know, they said that 2024 was going to be the year of the hater. So I'm just keeping my eye out for the ops. That's all it is, like the kids say. I'm just keeping my eye out for the ops. But wonderful conversation.
You gonna think I'm gonna be the hater out of all the people?
No, I definitely put you on that list. You could be there's definitely potential. There's definitely hater potential there.
Come on, see what I'm saying? That's why you won't shout me out when you go somewhere and be like, you know what? Shout out to my co-host, my guy Perry White. I see that's where it's coming from. Now that's him. We're going to go seek some counseling. That's what we're going to do. Co-host counseling, make sure we can get past it.
No, it's all good. I know it's all love, but you definitely said that Coach White was going to be an encyclopedia. I introduced him that way, and he certainly was. So much history and connection there, not just that ties to Southern, but also just to the SWAC, to Grambling as well. So I think that was kind of cool, and we got some insight because I know SWAC Media Day is coming up soon, P, and I know you feel a way. I think I agree with the setup there for the way that the questions get asked, so we may not always get insight, but that's okay because we here at the Jaguar Journal, we talk to our coaches, at least at Southern University, directly, so we're getting some insight from them directly. We don't have to wait for SWAC Media Day. You can tune in right here.
Yeah, SWAC Media Day. Hey, Coach, good to see you. What you like to put on your chicken before ball games, Coach? Hot sauce or barbecue sauce?
Yeah, we're tired of the fluff questions. No more fluff. No more fluff. We're tired of the fluff questions. We want to know exactly. We want to get some real insight into what we can expect, especially because you put your time, your energy, your money into going to the games, to supporting, to donating. You want to hear from them directly and get some real insight. So, but we are looking forward to the season. Football getting closer and closer. Fall is getting closer and closer as we get ready for it.
Tailgating, I'm trying to drink all the water I can now, Brandi. I'm trying to eat as healthy as I can now because
strength and conditioning is happening now. Strength and conditioning is happening now. You cannot be one of them people that's been inside all summer and then you trying to step out early and spend a whole day on Saturday. Oh, no, babe. You're not conditioned for this. You're not conditioned for this yet. Especially if you're going to be, when you got to go sit out on the stadium. You've been tailgating all day. Then you got to go sit out in the stadium, especially for those earlier games. Sun hasn't set yet. Earlier in the season, I mean. So it's going to be hot. Start that strength and conditioning right now.
Become a weekend warrior. It starts now. And, I'm looking forward to it. As you say, SWAC Media Day is coming up this week. I got to give a shout out to my son. Today's my son's birthday, man. He's turning the big 8 today. So he's 8, and my daughter's birthday is on Tuesday. She'll be 16. So 16 and 8 within the next couple days, which is why I'm not in the studio. I'm all the way around the place. But I had to give a shout-out to my son and to my daughter, who both will be having birthday. My son's birthday today and my daughter's birthday in a few more days. So
can we get an air horn for them? Happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to the babies. We love that. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Fantastic.
They all in my pockets, man.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
Can I say something?
Who's that? That's Coach Scott. We got Coach. You still on?
Yeah, man. I just want to say to all the listeners, let's get those season books. Let's get those season books. I'm buying 4 of them. So let's support the athletic department, and to all the listeners, let's get these season books. Let's buy them out this year.
All right. No, that's right. And as I told y'all all throughout the show this morning, August 23rd, beat me there. Don't just meet me there at the Raising Cane's River Center for the 2nd annual Southern University Athletic Department Gala. We're going to be raising money for Southern University Athletics, for the football stadium, for the student athletes and their scholarships. Of course, they need all the support that we can give them. I'm going to be there emceeing again for the 2nd year in a row. Big time performance from the one and only Music Soul Child. Mike is giving me that look, Perry, that we got to go to break. You heard Coach right there. It's time to buy those season books. You can get information on both the season books and that 2nd annual gala that's coming up on August 23rd at the River Center, all on the Southern University Athletic Department website. And of course, we cannot wait to see everybody on the bluff. We can't just keep talking about football, Perry, but we are counting down. We are so ready for football season, getting all of our merch and stuff together. Perry, I guess next week you're going to be here in the studio?
I'll be back home.
Okay, Coach, we are looking forward to getting more insight from you throughout this season. Can't wait for y'all to see y'all make that big debut over in McNeese coming up soon. This is the Jaguar Journal. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, share it all on YouTube and on Facebook. And we'll see y'all here, same place, same time, next Saturday. This is the Jaguar Journal. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the